Man, look, I'm solid. Got the paperwork and all that signed off. I just gotta tap in with Pops.
Son, that paperwork gotta be dated. For real, after that, we straight.
Yo, bro, you really brought me here for some fucking contract negotiation? I thought we was about to put that work in. Man, fuck what you talking about. Pop said that junk gotta be dated too. Yo, we going to jail for the rest of our lives and you trying to get this shit dated? We might as well get rid of everybody, bro. We got like 118 fucking federal charges so far. Like, what are we talking about? Man, y'all New York niggas ain't knowing nothing. Pop said as soon as it's signed and dated, we straight. Gucci for real, no rap. Shorty, that ain't how none of this work. Hey, shut the hell up. Go ahead and date it and put your initials, first and last, right under that blood stain, fool. Pooh Shiesty. Pooh Shiesty. You gotta be one of the dumbest, one of the most stupidest niggas on this planet. This level of stupidity is rarely seen. I'm rarely speechless in my life, rarely. And you made me speechless. When I heard what you did, I was stuttering. And I don't even have a stutter. I was like, he did what? This level of stupidity is only seen once in a generation, a rare event. Who looks at a contract situation and thinks, yeah, let me escalate this in the worst possible way? You skip every step between being upset and making a move and jump straight to madness. Like, I seen and made dumb decisions, but never at this level when I had time to think and plan it out. Boy, you planned this shit out. Hell nah. And what's bugged out, it didn't even have to go this path. There were 100 other options, 1,000 better conversations, but instead, you picked this. Whatever this was, you picked it, chose it. It's the kind of decision that makes people rewind the story just to make sure they heard it right, because it sounds unreal. Like we all trying to make it out, and you made it out, damn near. This is some self-sabotaging type of ish. This wasn't pride, this wasn't impatience. This is the type of shit you do when you black out and you wake up the next day and be like, I did what last night? I'm not even mad. It's your life. I'm just confused. Like genuinely trying to understand how someone arrives at that and feels confident about doing that, because this wasn't just a mistake. This was a decision, and that's what makes it hit different. Instead of having his entertainment lawyer send a red line document, he takes a totally different route. He brings an armed tactical team to a renegotiation. What kills me is that you went back to get the contract dated, because without that, the contract wouldn't be valid. Wow. I think the guns might have voided the contract. Maybe even the robberies might have voided it as well. I mean, I'm not well versed in contract negotiations and shit, but kidnapping is kinda a no-no. I was thinking of a comparison to this level of stupidity, like Bobby Shmurda. Bobby fucked up the bag, but he ain't pulled guns out on Epic. Dirk fucked the bag up too, but he rode for his man and probably couldn't live with himself if he didn't. Still fucking stupid, but I think this one got it beat. I guess Pooh thought Gucci a street dude, so everything's a go. I think if he just would have done the forced contract aspect of this stupid plan, he might a better chance. But what was the purpose of the robbery? Them dudes gonna tell. Them other dudes ain't street dudes. When I seen that white boy's neck, I said, it's over. You're cooked. Kidnapping and home invasion is some of the worst crimes that ain't murder. They did some real Brownsville-ish and set a nigga up. I'm sitting here like, hold on. So you couldn't just call your lawyer? You couldn't renegotiate? You went straight to GTA 5? Because this was obviously coordinated. You got multiple people involved, including family, his father, other artists, a whole crew. They really sat down and said, yeah, we gonna solve this contract situation ourselves. Dad like, don't forget to get it dated. What? It's like robbing a bank, right? You kick the door in, mask on, gun out, everybody on the floor, you screaming, chaos everywhere. You grab all the money, and then right before you leave, you turn to the teller and go, yo, can you sign this receipt and make sure you date it so it's official? Like, what? Official? Or imagine you carjack someone, then you hand them a bill of sale like, yeah, just sign here real quick so it's legally mine now. Bro, you just stole it. The paper don't magically turn a crime into a transaction. That's basically what happened. They did all of this. Armed takeover, kidnapping, threats with the rifle, robbery, and then pause like, hold on, we gotta make this legally valid. Put the date on it. No, the logic is gone. Because here's the reality. Once force is involved, once a gun is in the picture, anything signed is automatically meaningless. That paper isn't a contract, it's evidence. So all that make sure it's dated thinking, that's like trying to fix a totaled car by adjusting the radio station. You focusing on the smallest, most irrelevant detail while everything else is completely destroyed. That's why it makes no sense. They thought they were being smart, but all they really did was make the crime look even crazier. Like, what logic is that? You trying to get out of a contract by committing like 10 federal crimes at the same time? You just upgraded your situation from bad deal to life over. And here's the part that really got me tight. They thought this was gonna work. Like, yeah, Gucci just gonna be like, all right, bro, you got it. Contract canceled. Y'all have a safe trip home. No, this ain't how the world works. And then, of course, technology comes in and just cooks everybody. Phones, tracking, social media, messages. Everybody want to be seen. Everybody want to flex. And now it's all evidence. You can't do crime in 2026 like it's 1996. That era is over. So now what happens? Federal investigation, multiple cities, sweeping arrest. Boom, Dallas, Memphis, Nashville. Everybody getting picked up like it's a sweep in a video game. All for what? A contract dispute. This whole situation really shows you something though. The line between music industry and street life is still blurry for a lot of people. And when that line disappears, this is what you get. Corporate meeting turns into a hostage situation. That's crazy. And the saddest part, all that talent, all that success, all that opportunity thrown away over a piece of paper that could have been handled legally. This wasn't just a bad decision. This was a generational fumble. Nah, this is the perfect way to explain it right here. This whole situation, it's like a running back in the NFL. He gets the ball, breaks through the line, defenders miss, one guy slips, another guy gets stiff arm. Now it's just open field. I'm talking green grass, nobody in front of you, crowd already standing up like touchdown. You 10 yards out, 5 yards out, you already celebrating in your head, and then you drop the ball. No one hit you, no one touched you, you just fumbled. Ball rolling on the ground, defense jumps on it, game over. That's exactly what this was. Because look at the setup. He had a platinum career, major label backing, industry cosigns, fans waiting on his comeback, second chance after prison. That's the open field. That's the touchdown. All he had to do was run straight. Handle business the normal way. Lawyers, renegotiations, patience. That's it. Instead, he tried to celebrate early, tried to do too much, lost focus, and fumbled everything. And the worst part, it wasn't even pressure. Nobody forced that decision. It was self-inflicted. That's why it hit so crazy. Because this wasn't a loss. This was a guaranteed win turned into a disaster right before the end zone. And the bugged out part is, Pooh Shiesty just came home. Like, sit your ass down somewhere. Like, why the fuck you back in the mix already? You spent 3 years around a bunch of niggas, then come out and be around a bunch of niggas still. Like, fuck out of here. And real talk, if your father couldn't be the voice of reason, then you was bound to fail. Let me break that down. My loved ones will always talk me out of committing a crime. Always. A father, especially in situations like this, is supposed to be the last line of defense. Like, when everything getting emotional, when decisions getting reckless, when egos start talking louder than logic, that's the person who's supposed to step in like, yo, relax, this ain't the move. That's the role. Not a hype man, not a co-signer, not a strategist for chaos. Voice of reason. But in this situation, it's like that role got flipped upside down. Instead of saying, yo, this is stupid, we not doing this, it turned into, alright, if we doing this, let's do it right. That's crazy. Because think about it, the son already emotional, already moving off impulse, already proven he reacts instead of thinks. That's exactly when you need guidance. That's when a father is supposed to slow everything down. But if the person who's supposed to anchor you is also feeding into the chaos, now there's no brakes. Now it's just acceleration, straight into disaster. And that's what makes it so tragic. Because it wasn't just one bad decision, it was a system of bad reinforcement. Every step of the way, there was a moment where somebody could have said, stop. And the one person who could have had the most influence influence didn't just stay silent, he participated. That changes everything, because now it's not just you made a mistake, it's you were guided into the mistake. And when your guidance is flawed, your outcome almost guaranteed to be flawed too. If your father couldn't be the voice of reason, then yeah, you was already headed in the wrong direction. You just didn't have anybody strong enough to turn you around.